Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Infested from director Sébastien Vaniček. This is his first feature film. He's a French director, and he's recently been tapped to do the next Evil Dead film, so I figured it's about time we checked out his movie, and yeah, I can see why he got the Evil Dead job. This is a spider French extremity film, so it gets extreme with the spiders eating people alive in this. In a way you've probably never seen in any killer spider movie. Not even Arachnophobia went this far with some of the graphic gore.
No. And they didn't have a John Goodman to help him out either.
No, not in this movie. Not in this movie.
No Julian Sands, no John Goodman.
Nope.
They're just fucked.
The movie is about a guy named Caleb, who is a illegal shoe salesman and a fan of illegal exotic animals, and he acquires a spider. A spider that we see at the beginning of the movie was captured from the desert, and it lives underground.
Yeah, somewhere in the Middle East.
Yep, and this spider's obviously not supposed to be in France, where this movie takes place. And he buys it, he brings it back to his apartment, it gets loose, it breeds, and then the entire apartment complex gets infested, hence infested, with killer spiders, both small and large, because these spiders seem to go from being teeny tiny little just scary spiders to massive behemoths that you would expect to be in a more schlocky movie than this.
Yeah, like an eight-legged freak.
Yeah, like eight-legged freak-sized spiders all of a sudden. The movie kind of chalks this up to oh, well, it's just Darwinism. They're adapting to their environment. And I'm like, no, this is more than just Darwinism.
Yeah.
this is like magic spider shit.
Yeah. This shit comes from hell? You can't fucking tell me otherwise?
Where did they find this? In the fucking ground under Chernobyl or some shit? What's going on here?
Yeah, because there's no explanation other than that really brief nod to Darwinism for how these spiders, A, breed this quickly all of a sudden, and B, get so big.
But it should be noted, there is no spider expert in this movie. Even the guy who buys exotic animals is pretty dumb when it comes to the animals he buys. He just thinks they're cool. So people are just guessing throughout the entire movie. We don't actually know why the spiders are behaving the way they're behaving. They just are. The characters make a lot of dumb decisions throughout, some of which is just not knowing they're in a killer spider movie, and some of which is just a bad idea to begin with.
Yeah.
And some of which is just a result of the characters arguing so much that they don't do the right thing because the time has passed to do it.
Yep.
In fact, that's one of the themes of the movie, is that these people in this apartment complex, yes, they're idiots, but they're also kind of on their own because the government is also awful. The police end up cordoning off the entire apartment complex, not letting anyone leave, because at first it seems like they think there's some sort of infectious disease, but then you realize that when people get bitten by the spider, they kind of become like spider egg hubs.
Yeah.
So you could literally just spew a whole bunch of spiders, so everyone gets trapped inside with the spiders, desperately trying to get out, and they have to fight both the spiders as well as the police. It's not a fun scenario, let's just say.
There's a rather high body count.
Now, even though it's a French extreme film, one thing I did notice, especially watching it the second time around, is how funny the dialogue is in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
Between the characters. There's just these funny, bickerings between characters, and it's very obvious that some of the characters are supposed to be dumb.
Yes.
Caleb's best friend, the bike thief guy, is just a flat-out idiot. He's loyal, but he's dumb as shit.
He's dumb as shit. Dumb as a bag of hammers.
And it's actually acknowledged by the other characters how dumb he is. There's also characters who are behaving stupidly because they're being incredibly racist. That's another thing that happens in this movie.
Yes.
It is a very multicultural apartment complex, and it's very obvious that is a cultural tension in this apartment complex that leads to people constantly arguing and not doing what they should be doing, which is most of the time getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah. When we get to Caleb, he has no reason other than sentimentality to fucking stay in this apartment complex.
He's obsessed with staying in the apartment complex because it was his mom's apartment and she recently died. That's the backstory we're given. And the sister wants to sell it because both she and the brother could use the money and could find a better life somewhere else.
Yeah.
But he's refusing to let that happen.
And this thing is some sort of tenement building.
Yeah.
This weird tenement building that is got these two buildings that have these big circles on them like spider's
I know,
webs.
it's a very interesting fucking design.
What?
It does make for interesting shots every time it shows the exterior of the building.
Yeah.
So there is that. But Caleb also is like attached to some of the other people in the apartment complex. And you're just like, look, I know you care about these people in these other apartment buildings, but they're already fucking dead. You need to fucking get you, your sister, and your sister's friends the fuck out of there.
All right, if someone would just calm the fuck down.
There is a lot of, if people calm down, certain situations would go better. That's for sure, 100%.
Yeah, especially when it comes to dealing with the police. Because there are some times where it's sort of like, yeah, you need to like chill here because all you're doing is angering the policeman.
Yeah, I did have some moments where I was just like, okay, the cop is an asshole, but also you're not helping the situation.
Yeah. The one cop is trying to calm everybody down, and that's who Caleb kind of picks the fight with.
I know. It's just like, why are you picking the fight with him? You need to calm down so you guys can do the next stage.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do.
Which is, getting out of the fucking building.
It's true. The actual spider effects are fucking great.
Yeah, the spiders on screen, it's amazing.
Like, there are these amazing fucking shots that look like they're a mix of real spiders and possibly CG spiders and possibly real spiders that they like blew up to like make look bigger.
Yeah.
And you can't always tell which is which, so you're always kind of guessing, oh man, how did they do that one? These layered shots where like you're seeing down hallways and there's like millions of spiders.
Yeah, and you can also tell that some of the spiders are like puppets.
Yes.
Animatronics.
That's the other thing. There's some puppet spiders, especially when you get some close-up looks and you're just like, okay, that looks like that's a little puppet. That stuff is when the movie's really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, when the spiders are like pouring out of people or doing a spider thing, like that's when things are really, really good.
Or like situations where the characters have to go through a bunch of spiders.
Yeah.
Because there's no other fucking like direction they can go at that point. Those situations are great. Like just the tension of them having to like not interrupt the spiders and hope the spiders don't notice them.
They don't notice that, slip.
Now there is one aspect to this movie that didn't make a lot of sense to me. One of the conceits of the spiders in this movie is that they don't move when there's a light on. I understand it's supposed to be because they're underground spiders, except the opening scene kind of showed them like
moving around in the open sun.
Yeah. Now granted, it's because they were smoked out of their little hidey holes, but I was sitting there going like, so they can move in the light. They just choose not to, I guess.
Yeah.
But it made later in the movie feel a little weird because they're like, oh, their torch went out, or like they have to crank this one hand flashlight at one point.
Yeah.
If you like get tired and it starts to go out, then like the spider starts moving again. This is great tension, but I feel like you shouldn't have showed me them moving in sunlight at the beginning of this movie if this was going to be a conceit for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The other thing I really liked about this movie is that it gives no fucks. It doesn't care how innocent you are. It doesn't care if you're the nice character. It doesn't care if you're the mean character. You're fucked.
Oh, we should say now, the dog dies.
Yeah. If you're worried about some dead animals, there's dead animals in this. There's dead animals in this.
And not just spiders.
Not just spiders, not just other bugs, because he has like an exotic fucking library of animals. There's house pets that don't make it in this. So you've been warned. You have been warned. This movie is not for arachnophobes. However, if you're the type of arachnophobe who can force yourself to sit through this, it will be one of the scarier movies you'll have seen all year. The stuff that really gets you is like the tiny spiders all of a sudden pouring out of a shoe.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, you're like,
that's the stuff that got under my skin, where I was just like, holy crap. Because that looked like real spiders actually coming out of the shoe. And they might have been digital spiders. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But they looked real enough in that lighting. And, and so I bought it. Stay away from me, spider up in the corner. I see you.
I know what you're all about.
You better not lay eggs in my shoes, goddammit. That's the other thing about these spiders.
Evil mutant spiders.
These spiders are born pregnant. They reminded me of the fucking sharks in Under Paris.
Yes.
Where they're just immediately pregnant, and if you kill one, they'll just burst more. Anyway, my fellow gorehounds, I enjoyed this movie, but it comes with a lot of caveats. And those caveats are the characters could be frustrating sometimes. The scenarios can be a little contrived sometimes. But the effects and some of the scares, really fucking good. really fucking good.
This guy will obviously do very well with any Evil Dead effects.
Oh yeah, I am really looking forward to this guy's Deadites. With that said, my fellow Gorehounds, Infested is currently available on just about any platform you want to rent a movie from. We watched it on Shudder, so if you have Shudder, you can watch it on there. I will include an Amazon affiliate link in the description of this video, and if you click that link and rent the movie from that link, I will get a kickback from it. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers so we can talk about what exactly happens in the back half of this movie, especially with the main characters and the cops.
Everything goes perfectly fine.
Everything goes perfectly fine. Okay, so there's a point later on in this movie where they finally get the attention of the goddamn police. But when they finally encounter those cops, the main character just fucking wails on one, pulls out a gun, and shoots one of them in a situation that didn't feel like it needed to escalate to that.
Yeah.
They wanted to check to see if they were bitten. They're even asking them, were you bitten? As the movie establishes, if you're bitten by these spiders, you might end up spewing a whole bunch of new spiders. So they actually do have to contain the infestation here, one way or another. And instead of answering whether they were bitten, they start yelling at the cops to go downstairs, which is where the spiders are. It actually turns out one of them is bitten, but didn't tell anybody, because after he shoots the cop, they get knocked out and they get fucking handcuffed, and then they end up in the garage, which is apparently where the cops have like set up their HQ. But the main characters have no goddamn chill, because they've been arrested, and one of them shot a cop, so even if they were gonna be let go after this, they just fucking like assaulted and shot a cop. So they're now in actual legal trouble. The friend that was bitten gets up, handcuffs on his hand, bursts through the door, knowing that on the other side of that door there's a shit ton of spiders, sacrifices himself, unleashes all the spiders. So now we got the cops and the spiders like it's fucking aliens. While our other main characters, still handcuffed, try to hide in a car until everything blows over. And I gotta be honest, the cop's an asshole, yes, and the cop is very bad at like explaining what's going on to the main characters, but I did feel like this outcome was actually worse than just waiting.
Yeah.
Well, now we got a whole bunch of dead cops too. Like, what good did that do?
I mean, how is this helping? Yeah.
You just avoided jail by doing this, as long as none of these cops make it out of this and tell anybody what you did, I suppose. Two of them make it out, right?
Yeah.
It's him and his sister,
Yeah, him and his sister make it out.
Everyone else dies along the way. Probably my favorite death in the movie is actually the most heartbreaking, and that's the death where the one guy gets stuck in the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And they can't go back and get him because he's just covered in spiders. And what I love about that scene is I don't know what's worse. Hearing your friend screaming as they're fucking dying and being eaten alive, or when the screaming stops.
Yeah.
What's the worst feeling? It's a fucking horrifying scene. It's one of the best scenes in the movie. Plus, it also has the best shot in the movie where it like pulls out and shows that entire hallway of spiders. Ooh, now that's the money shot right there.
Yeah.
That's the money shot. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, where can I find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I stream. Stay alerted of when I go online by following me on Twitter at Counting Jack. And I also stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, also 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's all about me. How about all baby you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag SneakerNest. Use the hashtag SneakerNest. That way I know. That way Jack knows. That way the whole world knows that you do not want to put your foot in that sneaker. Trust me.
No, you really don't.
You really don't.